Manuel, thank you very much for speaking to us. Just first of all, how was your summer? What did you get up to and did you enjoy it?
No, thanks for you for the interview. I think that was a very good summer. The rest that maybe all of us need after the season. I was half of the time in Spain, in Marbella, and the other part in my country, in Chile, where I went to the America Cup season till semi-final.
So you enjoyed some of the Copa America?
Yes. I watched a lot of games. I was also in Chile with Chiqui Stein, that he went also. We saw games and players.
Fantastic. So we're here in Australia. We've got a lovely setting here in Melbourne. Is this your first time here?
Yes, first time in Australia.
And what do you think of it so far?
Really very beautiful. Everyone told me before that it was a beautiful place, but we are just not here in tourists. I think that it was a very good place that we chose to do the pre-season because we had very good facilities, good weather, especially in the Gold Coast. But here in Melbourne, that everyone told us that it was more cold than the Gold Coast. I think these 4 days that we have been here, we have any problem.
As you say, it's been very busy. We've had a lot of training sessions since we've come here, but have you had a chance to see anything, any sights or?
Yes, we had this morning, we had the morning free, so we went with the staff to see the parliament, to know a very beautiful building and a very high building here in Melbourne where you can see the whole city from the sky. It's really, really beautiful.
And I know that on the Gold Coast we had a koala bear come visit. We were told that was your request, is that right?
Yes, we took a photo with the koala. We also went to a special place to see kangaroos also. It's really a different country.
Great, and as we say, it's been busy in terms of training. Just how has that side of things been going for you?
Well, very well, because we had a program from the whole pre-season, and for the moment we had exactly the program as we did in the theory, now in the practice.
And is it important, Manuel, to get into the right mindset from day one of pre-season?
Yes, it's very important to return to your competitive mentality, not only physical, that you are working hard in the physical part, but also in your mind. I think that if you want to be a competitive team, your mind must be strong, your mind must be completely ready to start again in August the 10th when we must play our first game for the Premier League. So I think that we are working all together, technical, physical, tactical, and of course the mind.
We spoke to Joe Hart last week, and he said he feels that the team have had that winning mentality, that competitive mentality since April when we knew we weren't going to win the league. He thinks that a switch went off. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I agree with Joe because I work with the players every day and I am seeing that they are hungry to win again another title, that they are maybe a little bit wounded also for what we did last season. So I am sure that we are going to be a very competitive team. We are going to see again performance maybe of some players that last year were not in their best moment. We are going to see them again as a very competitive players and a very competitive team.
Joe and some of the other players arrived a little bit later than the rest, and we've had some players dripping through. So how do you coordinate training when you've got players coming on at different times?
Well, they have special work. I think that in football it's so important to work hard, but also they have the same important to rest. And I think that the player has so many games during the year that if you don't give them 30 days after they finish their international meeting with their squad, it's very difficult for them to work hard. So, as you say, they started 1 week later, but I think that they will arrive in their best shape for the first game of the Premier League. It's more difficult than South American players because I think that Pablo Zabaleta, Martin Michelis, Sergio Agüero and Fernandinho, they finish later, they finish the first days of June. So They will not have 30 days, but I think that when we return to Manchester, they will start their pre-season. Maybe they will not be involved in the first game, but I am sure that they will work hard, and we will have in our squad as soon as they can.
You've been a manager now for many years, Manuel. Has pre-season changed in that time? The demands of pre-season or the expectations of pre-season, have they changed over your career?
Yes, I think that the pre-seasons are very different from now, from some years ago. Well, when I was a player, it was absolutely different, but I think that in the last 10 years, the pre-season had changed a lot. It's impossible now for big teams as Real Madrid, Barcelona, Chelsea, Bayern, Manchester United, Manchester City, Arsenal, Liverpool, not to go and play far away. Maybe we have to fly a lot of kilometers, but I think that the demand is so high that it's impossible for the club not to prepare a pre-season with important games in different parts. So we try to make the program to work and to insert those games in our working program. Maybe it's not easy, but because you are preparing the whole squad, so that's why we try to give an equal average of minutes to all the players. So the scores are not, the results are not very, very important. But fans and TV demand maybe a performance that in this moment is not difficult. It's not easy for the players to have it.
And you can see just what it means to the fans in Australia. We've spent quite a lot of time with fans in various locations. You can see what it means for them to have their club.
Yes, of course. That's why I think that in the next years, around the last 2 or 3 years, the last 5 years, and I am sure that this will continue in the future. It's impossible for the club not to come. They must come because there's a lot of money involved, and there's a lot of fans in every part of the world that want to see their players. That is very grateful also for us to see how many fans we have here in Australia. So it's a different pre-season, but I think that will be all the pre-season in the future for all the important clubs.
And of course, we've made 4 new signings so far this summer. How pleased are you with the new members of the squad?
Well, very pleased because I think that we choose the player because we had a lot of information about them. One thing is to see those players playing in their teams every weekend. But I think that when you want to buy a player, you must try to have more information about a lot of things. And I think that we brought here Raheem Sterling, that 21 years old. I am sure he will continue improving a lot. In this moment, he's a very, very good player, but I am sure that with our squad, with playing with players like David, like Yaya Touré, like Kun Agüero, he will continue improving because he has just 21 years old. And we need his speed in our team, so I think that he will be a very important player for us in the future. After that, we brought also Fabian Delph, that we had to replace Milner and Frank Lampard, 2 very good midfielders. It's not easy for them to replace. But I think that Fabian is also a young player, just 25 years old. He's in the national squad of England. I think he's a left foot that we need, a player with his characteristics. So I'm very happy with him also. The other is Patrick Robert, which is a young player. We'll see what happens with him this year, but he has a lot of conditions. I think that this club is not just thinking in this season. I think it's important to see for the future also, and maybe if Patrick continues his development as a player, he will be also a very important player for us. I am happy because I think that in the last 2 games we played with 2 very young players as Kelechi and Manu Garcia, with 17 and 18 years old, both coming from our CFA. So with the development squad, I think that both of them will have an important future also in our team.
You spoke about Manu Garcia and Kelechi after the Roma game. What in particular impressed you about the pair?
Well, you see, when all the other professional players play with them, it's because they have a good level. I think that both of them are very good technical players. I think that's very important for our team. I think that Kelechi has also a lot of goals. He's a scorer player, so I think that both of them will bring us fresh blood to continue in ball and repeating in completely project and not just in thinking in the present.
And Dennis Yunal's joined us as well. Is he settling in okay?
He's also a very young player. I think that he will need some minutes. Maybe it will be useful for him to stay time with our squad, but after that I think it's important for him to play. So we'll see also, same as Patrick Robert, what will happen with his future. But both of them, I repeat, they are young players with a lot of future.
Can we expect any more signings, Manuel, this summer?
Well, we'll see. We have time till the end of August, so we are not trying to make all the sign that we need in this moment. I think it's important more that to bring it quickly is to bring the right players. So we'll see. We are not closing any window for new players, but it's important, I repeat, to be an important player if you want to improve our squad.
We have, as you've mentioned, a lot of young players with us on this trip. How much of an experience is this for them?
A very important experience. I spoke with all of them before we came here, because you don't know when you have the chances, but when you have the chances, you must try to take advantage of that. So I think that for not for all of them, because it's very difficult to play in the games, but I think that 3 or 4 of their players, I think it was an important experience for them, and they will be useful for them in the future also.
And Marcos Lopez and Jason Denayer have come back from their loan spells last season. How much do you think they have both improved from the year away?
Both of them have improved a lot. I'm very happy about that. I think that Jason demonstrated why he played in Celtic the whole year and why he's now in the Belgian national team. He's a central back that is growing every year, so I think that I'm very happy in the way he's playing. Marcos Lopez also, he didn't have a complete season because he has a long injury when he was in Lille. But also he's a young player that he's improving. For me, it's very important to see the way they improve every season, and we'll see if they have a space here in our squad this season.
What's been very impressive, Manuel, is how these young players have kind of dealt with this trip and playing in games. They seem to have really just taken it in their stride, and they seem quite confident on the pitch, especially young Cameron Humphreys, who's obviously our youngest member of the squad here. They seem to really just embrace it.
Yes, also Cameron has only 16 years old. He's very, very young. But if I brought him here because I saw him playing the whole year, I am sure he will be a central back in the future. That will be very important. So as soon as he's involved with important players, I think that for his development is better. So I hope that with Stossen that he didn't come because he has an injury problem. And with Cameron, we have central back for a lot of years here in Manchester City.
As you mentioned, the South Americans haven't joined us as yet because of the Copa America. So when will they get back to Manchester, and what kind of training will they be involved in?
When we return to Manchester, that will be on Tuesday the 28th, I think. They will arrive also to Manchester, and the 29th we will start working the complete squad. Of course, they will do different work. We have to play another friendly game against Stuttgart on Saturday, and they will need those 10 days before we start the Premier League in a pre-season work different for the other squad.
Do you expect that they would be ready for West Brom or Chelsea?
I don't know if they can be, especially against West Brom. I think maybe it will be too soon for them to be ready to play. But well, after Chelsea, we will have 1 week more. We must see in the way they come back physically and mentality. So we will decide in that moment.
There's been a lot of talk about the penalty shootout against Roma. A very exciting penalty shootout against Roma, and in particular Joe Hart's penalty and his saves. Has he been asking to take the penalties next season?
No, he didn't ask me. He asked me to take the penalty last season when we had also the penalties against Liverpool in America last season. Yeah. In that moment, I didn't choose him, so I remember, in this case, I remember that I was in debt with Joe, And he did it really well, not only in the way he scored, because it was a really beautiful shot at the top corner, but also I think that as a goalkeeper, he made 2 important saves that allowed us to win that game.
He was pretty confident stepping up to that penalty spot, wasn't he?
Yes, he always has a lot of confidence. He always asks me to choose him to shoot a penalty. So, well, in this case, I give him.
You let him have it. We've also had an historic game here in Australia against our sister club, Melbourne City. It was a big event for the whole football club.
Yes, very good. I think it was a youthful game for both teams. We are now here in Melbourne, and we went yesterday to work in their training ground. I think it's very beautiful also. You see that sister teams with a lot of common things in between the both teams. So I think that was very useful for us, or we always say, as a global club, as to be involved both clubs in the same part.
As you say, we've got New York and we've got Melbourne City. It's just one big family now, really, isn't it?
Yes, we are trying to do it. That's why after we finished the last season, and in post-season we went also to New York. We were seeing a game of New York City. So I think that every year this will be growing, this link between the clubs.
When we get back, Manuel, we only have just over a week before the season starts. It's pretty soon. So what kind of preparations do we need to do before then?
Well, to work every day hard. I think, as I just said, it's important to return mentality, especially to be a competitive player, a competitive team. So we are working every day, of course, in different works. In the way we are more fit in our physical preparation. We are continue playing. We are continue working the tactical system. But every day, I think it's very important for the player to work harder than the day before.
And looking at some of the senior members of the squad, like David and Yaya, Vincent, Samir, they seem to have a bit between their teeth. They seem hungry. And it feels like there is a real hunger to get the title back already.
Yes, not only the title. I think it's important to involve in the 4 competition in the same way, the same mentality. Maybe last season we lost a lot of points in Premier League against teams that were after that relegated. That cannot happen this season. Finally, we finished in the 2nd place. That is not bad in the Premier League, because we have very important and competitive teams. At least 5 of them can be able to win the title. But also important, if we are a little bit with more luck this season, to continue in Champions League in another stage more, and not to play again against Barcelona. Both last Champions League we are very unlucky. We have Bayern Munich in our group stage, and after that, in the round of 16, we had Barcelona. But I hope that this year we are going to continue further in the Champions League. It's important also both cups, the FA Cup and the Capital One Cup, because I was very disappointed the way we were eliminated last season. So it's the season complete. In the 4 competitions, it's important to try to have high performance in all of them.
What would represent a good season for Manuel Pellegrini?
Well, a good season is, first of all, to win a title. I think that it's important to win a title. After that, maybe the most important, if you can win the 4 titles, it's better, and we must try to do it, of course. But maybe if you are not able to do it and you are eliminated in one competition, it's because the other team played better than you, and because it's a better team. And not they eliminated with League One team, that a lot of time happens because the motivation is not the same, or not to lose the Premier League when you feel that you are the best team. So there's a lot of things that, but we start with the title, and it's the champion of the Premier League is more important. And after that, I repeat it, to be comfortable about in the way we play during the whole year, and in the way we are a competitive team in all the competitions.
And just finally, Manuel, our fans, as ever, have been fantastic out here in Australia. What would be your message to them, our fans here in Australia and beyond?
Well, not only to our fans in Australia, I think to our fans also in Manchester. I think that the best thing for me to tell them is not to change nothing. I think that we really feel always, in every part where we are in England or now in Australia, and especially in the bad moments, we always felt last season and the first season their support behind the team. I think that they enjoy also the way this team play. So I think that we will try to give them as much as happiness as we can. We are going to try to win all the titles, be confident, because you must trust in this team. But I repeat that they don't need to change nothing, because we really are very happy in the way they support us, and we are very confident about it.
Thank you, Mama.
Okay, thank you.